Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Another exciting one for you today. As you saw, memberships are available for your closest, nearest secret society. I advise you to not join them because they're weirdos. And we're going to obviously get into that. But like always, before we do, we were going to go ahead and say hello to all those on the panel. And then we'll do a little housekeeping and jump right into the episode itself. So hope you're excited for it. Make sure you like and thumb up and all that jazz. And share it out to your different discords and different things. So we get some people jumping on here and joining us for this conversation. So yeah, let's say hello to everyone. We got BV joining us here up at the top. Welcome, BV. Good to see your brother. Absolutely. Yep, we all got seeds to sow, and we all have puzzle pieces to share. That's why we come around to this table and do so. So thanks for joining us, brother. And we got our dear sister Marsha. Welcome. You're muted. Oh, everyone's muted. Play the dun 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 dun. Because I totally did not unmute you guys. Sorry, everyone. So, BV, they did not hear you. If you'd like to kind of reiterate that, BV, I apologize.
Hey, not a problem. I just came back from I went from California, Arizona, back and forth. But anyway, I'm always glad to be here because you guys are like minds. Picking your guys' brains, I love it, and I'm always learning. So I appreciate you guys letting me on. And from then on, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And dear sister Marsha, I promise you're not muted.
Well, I'm animated. They don't even have to hear me. But hello, everyone. Glad to be back.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. And we got our brother Robert with us. Welcome. Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah, Marsha, you may be animated, but I don't think any of us speak Marsha sign language. So
it's an individual dialect that she has. Awesome. We got our dear brother Kyle. Welcome, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. This is another great subject. As they all have tied into one another, this one will as well.
Absolutely, and it's going to keep trucking like that because it's not coincidence. It's one big story, and it's all the details are important. So, even though we are talking about darker subjects in season one, obviously season one, we are mostly focusing on scripture, which of course we will always bring up and we'll always talk about, because that is the foundation of the channel. It's the foundation of, where we're coming from in these conversations. So, yeah, it's there's still, my people perish for a lack of knowledge, right? So even though we don't have to be obsessed with these issues, we don't have to be focused on these issues, but I think it is at least important to be aware of them. So that's why we're talking about them. And, yeah. So before we get into that any deeper, let's go ahead and do a quick, I'm going to screen share with y'all, and then we will get the housekeeping out of the way, and then we will jump on to the episode itself. All right, let's make this big for everyone. All right, so I always like to shout out Chris and Liz Bailey from Take on the World. They let us simulcast on their platform and let us share, our pieces of the puzzle with their family. So we always want to acknowledge them and be thankful for that. And if you haven't checked us out, we have our own YouTube channel called Circle of the Earth Fellowship. You can check that out in the links to the descriptions of the videos and find the channel on either side. And we're past that 1.1, so thank you all to the recent few subscribers. We really do appreciate it, and all the comments and all that really does help the channel grow. And like we always do, we read the comments on from the last video. So let me go ahead and pull that up. So over on Take on the World, our last episode, of course, was NASA, The Lies We Are Told, and we are told many of them. And go ahead and let that bring up. We got Moonglow saying, thank you, sister, for the love. And we got Jimmy Smith saying, oh my God, the videos in the video are almost decipherable with all the narration. I totally understand that. And I do plan to start adding those links in an accessible place for the community. So if they want to go back and watch those videos, I just have to be very careful on the length that I play those, because they sometimes are copyrighted, often more times than not. And that can affect the channel. So I try to talk during those clips and break those up so to avoid that happening to the channel. So, but I do want y'all to be able to get the information and watch them out as this whole. So I will definitely start leaving those in. There's actually another comment over here on the Circle of the Earth side. And, I totally forgot about this, but I will definitely do this. This one, but let's start from the bottom. We got R.A. Tacky saying, ooh, look at this. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the support. Ice Queen Empress, I'm here and listening. Thank you. I'm glad we got that all figured out with the incident of you accidentally getting muted or banned or whatever it was. We got that undone.
Probably.
Yeah, it was an accident. So glad we got that. Thank you for letting us know, sister. And then Yall Gives Wisdom said, Circle the Earth, can you post all the links to the videos, especially the first one of Kubrick admitting to filming the moon landing? And then my plan was to do it Friday, but I had some stuff come up where I totally forgot about this. But I will make it a habit to give those links to y'all. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it in Discord. I might do it in the description. I'll see how that looks. But I will definitely make that information available to everyone. So even if the panel wants to go back, they can go look at those different things. So, and then
if you put it in the description or a comment under there, could you be banned also for putting those links?
Yeah, I think it would. I think there would be an issue with YouTube, and I also have I think there'll be issues with me linking to outside of YouTube within YouTube in the description from more than because the links would just be all crazy. It would look weird. Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to think about maybe doing it in Discord. I know that would kind of force people to come into Discord to get that access, but so I will think about a solution there for you. Y'all Gives Wisdom, and get those to the people. So we had Trish Hall said same thing. I was excited to watch this. It was hard to hear the audio. Exact same thing. I'm sorry, Trish. Maybe we'll cut back the talking during, and then we'll just cut them up more to kind of so you can still hear it, but you'll just have to wait a little bit in between the commentary to hear the whole thing. I'll still link the information. Johnny Cole says the intro is getting better and better. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that. And this said, praise y'all, and thanks to everyone who wants to see the truth. Thank you, Vader Bear. Love you, Sean, West, Ken, Joe, Christmas, and the bros. See you in the kingdom. Absolutely. Great comment there. We appreciate it. All right, sweet. So, oops. Okay, so thank you all for your comments. So I want to do one more thing. We gave Alex way enough time to get in contact with him. I never got in contact with him on our first episode. We were past that 1,000K mark. Thanks again to Sean. And we rolled this wheel to find the winner. So real quickly, the winner that we should have had is... We got Rethink Inc. So Rethink Inc. If Alex does not claim it, then it will go to you, and then we're gonna do it one more time. Okay, so Rethink Inc. Please email me at circleoftheearthfellowship@gmail.com. If you go to the community tab in the channel, like if you're on the channel on YouTube, Circle of the Earth Fellowship, and you click the community tab, you can also copy paste it from there. Email us, hey, this is Rethink Inc. I won the thing. We'll get your information and we'll get you that Sefer Bible. We definitely want to hand this out because we said we were going to, and if Rethinking, we're gonna give you some time to get in contact with us. Please do, so that you can claim this prize. And I'm gonna make a post about it too, to just make it a little bit easier for that to happen. But yeah, I'm gonna go through the rest quickly. We have a Discord. Check the link to join that part of the community. We also have a merch store, so if you're interested in supporting the channel, not only do you get to support the channel, but you get some cool merch as well. So check that out if you're interested. We love using Bible Gateway as well as Bible Hub as scriptural resources. Of course, you shouldn't just rely on one scripture, one translation, why can I not think of the name? Oh my gosh. You should use all the resources we have available. We're in a time period where that's available, so you should definitely use it. And then also, we love to talk about the apocryphal here. So so-called apocryphal, deuteronomical. I definitely would check this out. We love the Book of Enoch as well as the Book of Jubilees. And here soon and I know I keep saying this, we just got to kind of flesh out the timing of it. We're going to start reading the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. So definitely look forward to that. All right, I'm gonna end the intro there. We're gonna go on to the
Wait a minute.
topic at hand.
I want to know, somebody joined, and I don't know this person's name. It's
okay,
just a number.
This may be Justin. He's kind of like family outside of blood.
Okay.
Looks like he's having issues joining or unmuting.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if his cameras work. You'll have to hit. Oh, there he goes. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, hello, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're able to join us. Again, we're getting into the conversation of secret societies. We typically do testimonies of new people who join. So if you'd like to give a quick testimony, kind of your life and what you'd like to share in a brief testimony before we get into this episode, feel free to do so, brother.
Okay. Well, I had all my life decisions led up to the darkest point to where I wanted to hurt myself and others. And then I found hope in a guy named Jesus, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it and be able to be kind to people.
Awesome.
Yep.
Sweet. Yep. And we definitely walk in love here. Not all of us have the exact eschatological view or theological view. We could all have different pieces of the puzzle, like we kind of show here. So, we're always should be willing to sit down in kindness with, people that we don't exactly, what does the saying go? Like, the only person you'll find that, the only way you'll find a person who agrees exactly 100% with what you agree is if you look in the mirror. So, awesome. Welcome, Justin. Excuse me, everyone. Let's get into it. So, as the kind of description we showed is memberships available. Episode number 4, Secret Societies. So we're going to be talking about various secret societies, and we already saw from last episode, NASA, the lies we are told is that it's already a mixture there. Kyle brought it up earlier, how these subjects are so intertwined, and they're intertwined because they're not coincidence. They are a plan. Now, I'm not glorifying or godifying. I can't think of the word deifying. There we go. I'm not deifying their abilities, but of course we know, as scriptures indicate, that they are already at work in secret, doing these things behind closed doors. Yeah, so we're gonna get into a really interesting kind of going from there. Is back in the day, right? They couldn't do these things out in the open. They couldn't do their witchcraft and their sorcery and their things out in the open because they would typically be attacked and hurt and killed, unalived, unsubscribed from life when it came to their practices. And so we see that this, what's often referred to as secret societies. You could also call them, mystery religions. They have kind of gone behind closed doors and inside dark rooms because the things that they're doing, most people wouldn't go along with. And at least this day and age, right? And maybe that's going to change in the future. But as it is now, they're behind closed doors. And so we're going to talk about these people, their effects on society. We're going to talk about their connection between not only this and our next subject, occult scientism, but everywhere in between. And so I hope y'all are excited to talk about it. We got a whole bunch of videos, some articles, and other things to share. And if you're in Discord, of course, you can select screen. Join the stream, and that will let you see what is being shared to the channel. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, and we'll start showing some videos, reading some articles. Oh, I'm disappearing. All right. So I want to start off with this picture. And in this picture, this is the hierarchy, the structure of the Freemason, as they call it. So we're gonna read this little excerpt real quick and kind of take a look at this picture, and notice what we notice. Oh, went crazy. Did I lose it? Oh, lost it. Oh, lost it.
Does anybody know how to talk to a Mason?
No.
What do you mean?
A little bit.
How to?
I'm traveling east,
If there's a way to
looking for light.
there's a certain way to ask one about the Masonry.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, they have their secret handshakes and their secret signals and stuff like
I'm
that.
a traveler. Something like
So
that.
so if you see one and you want to know more about it, just on an informative basis, to ask one, to be one, you must ask one. So if you say to be one, you must ask one, because they're not allowed to talk about it. So I'm confused. I don't understand this.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Gotcha. All right, so
you can
this...
also
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. I was just going to say real quick that you can also indulge, like when I used to build cell phone towers and stuff like that, I learned that people in Hawaii didn't like cell phone towers, so they started setting them up and looking like palm trees. So when they started doing work at my house in Michigan, I noticed a few things. So, and instead of me going and barking at them and saying, I don't like this and I don't like that, I went to him and said, hey, do you have any problem with people not liking your guys' towers and stuff? He's like, oh, yeah, you should see. Come on up with me up the road. Went up the road. He's showing me a little stump in the ground. Doesn't even look like, it looks like a tree stump that got cut. It's a tower. It's a small one. But they had them every mile, half a mile, and he's showing me one after another. So I got him to divulge information by making him feel better, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't lie to him, but I used his ego against him. So
Totally.
that's all I wanted to say.
Totally. So in this picture, it says the structure of Freemasonry. It says American Freemasonry resembles two sets of stairs that begins and ends together. And this chart of the Masonic structure shows a Mason's first step is to become an entreed apprentice. He climbs to the third step where the most Masons stay. If he wants to go on in Masonic hierarchy, he enters either the Scottish Scottish or York rites. Many authorities say the Scottish Rite was begun by Scots immigrants in France. The York Rite is named after York, England, where, by legend, the first Masonic body was organized. In the Scottish Rite, a Freemason climbs 30 steps or degrees. The name he takes on at each degree is written on each step in the chart. Where there are two names, the top is used by the Northern Masons and italicized ones by the Southern Masons. Some figures a Mason meets in rite ceremonies stand on the steps from bottom. King Solomon, King Cyrus, Acolyte, George Washington, Sultan. Each degree teaches a moral. To each degree, candidate learns the moral and participates in the ceremony, dramatizing it. Squirting in a coffin. Pretty weird. A 32 degree is the highest degree a Mason can earn. The 33 is awarded by Supreme Council, ruling body of the rite. So not any special boy gets in, only the specialist of boys. It says a Mason in New York Rite advances 10 degrees, known by name and not by degree number. On the chart as figured, he meets at each degree or the degree symbol. Figures of the temple's workmen's, pastors, blah, 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 blah. And then it calls out all the different. Most important of the Masonic symbols are the open Bible with a square and compass on it. Solomon's temple before Bible. And the G is with the all-seeing eye. In the U.S., the G stands for God. I love how they call the G stands for God, for Theos. Anyway.
Exactly.
So I'm going to pull this back up. I'm trying to control it from the wrong side. So we're going to take a gander at this. So as it was saying, everyone enters as a first degree entered apprentice.
Initiate.
And then eventually you get to, let me bring this size down a little bit so we can, oh, I did it again. Click the wrong button. Apologize, everyone. Let that load up again. It's this one.
And 33 is not the top of the totem pole.
So,
that's when you get in. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I thought you were. And I don't know if you caught that, but you don't get to 33 unless people vote you in. There's a council that decides whether you get to join them or not. Right? So, and we've kind of said this before, that this is a psychopathic recruiting scheme, right? Only certain people are going to take these paths. And let's kind of look at it, guys. We got the, over here, we got the order of the Knights Templar, right? We know what the Knights Templar are and what they did to the, peoples inside of Jerusalem and England and all the death and, decay that they wrought on the earth, all in the name of Christ, right? That's something that Christians have to deal with. People like this, the U.S. Freemasons, they say that G stands for God, right? And so it's this big veneer of these special robes and these special hats and these special rods. And it's quite insane what the kind of setup they've done. Now, one thing that's interesting is they say this right here, guys. They say this right here is the Temple of Solomon. What does this look like to you guys?
It's like a Mormon temple.
Yeah.
There you go.
What else does it kind of look like? Any other?
Pyramid or
Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel.
Or Babel.
Yeah. I would suppose that G stands for Gilgamesh, but we'll get into that to later on. So yeah, you can see that they have all this compartmentalization. As it said, you have to have figured out these moral truths to take each step, and you get these grand titles and these honors, right? And so there's a form of worship, of self-worship, of self-idolatry in this whole process. And we can kind of see that with who are these, you know, I would kind of refer these people as the sons of Satan, right? Because they act just like him. They do his behavior, and they're the seed of him, and we see this in their symbols. We see this in their actions. So real quick, in this, you know, great gotta be able to move this over here. Where's my Shriners at? I'm trying to find them. I think they're over here on these steps, if I remember right.
Shriner, the little fez hat.
Yeah. Where are they at?
Middle.
I know they're...
Up
Yeah,
on
here he goes. Right here. Boom. Right there. So this is more of a Aramaic area Freemasonry. It's more Islamic than it is Christian, but they still used Christ and stuff in them. So this is the Shriner. Look how happy he is, guys. He's just ready to set out into the world and help little children through hospitals. That, of course,
in the parade.
Yep, in the parade and their circuses, you know, all to get little children to come and visit them. And
Piper.
And let's take it for a Shriner herself. Let's see what this guy has to say about this. About the world.
What is your problem?
Just that, sir.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm a Christian, sir.
I'm pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent. How can you say anything bad about me?
Sir, you need to be born again.
I am born again.
Now, did you just say that you are Lucifer?
I am Lucifer.
Okay, define Lucifer for me.
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual
What is going
that's
on?
out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy,
Virtuous.
virtuous.
I'm
Now, see
gonna
the-
start this over since there was so much
Lucifer.
issues.
What is your problem?
Just that, sir.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, sir.
I'm pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent. How can you say
I remember
anything
this
bad about
video.
me?
Sir, you need to be born again.
I am born again.
Now, did you just say that you are Lucifer?
I am Lucifer.
Okay, define Lucifer for me.
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy,
Virtuous.
virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
Oh, man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet.
Oh,
Amen.
God bless you,
Amen.
brother.
Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light.
No.
And you're,
Hey, what
you're
about those
confirming
hospitals?
it. You know what, sir? Jesus said, many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did not do these good deeds? in
Did
your
you
name?"
hear him?
And you'll
Oh,
say,
dang
away
it.
from me.
All right, pause it. Did you hear him? But the hospitals, right? Like, he had that queued up in his brain to literally be like, yeah, but look, we're Lucifer, but we run hospitals. It must be good. Please ignore the double caduceus on our signs that stands for for Hermes, for Anubis, the god of death, of pestilence, and merchants. Come on in. I got a jab to sell you.
It's the same thing as your vet.
Yeah.
When you walk into a vet door, you see the same symbol.
Yep. They're telling you right into your face what they're all about. All right, let's keep watching this.
You workers of iniquity, I never knew you.
Jesus said it?
In Matthew chapter 5.
Mercy.
No.
That's hard to believe.
So you're a Christian and you don't know that. Actually,
No, I really am.
you are.
Because I'm pure and virtuous.
You're pure and virtuous, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you're perfect without Jesus, right?
No.
Okay, tell me about Jesus. Who is Jesus?
Well, he's my leader.
Is he the Son of God?
Yes, he
Is he the only worshipful master?
Yes.
Have you ever been called worshipful master?
No, because I've just been too busy. I've been working.
Working.
Been working to help people.
Too busy.
What kind of work? Okay.
Get out of here.
See, this is what a Mason confesses, is that Lucifer is light. You heard it?
You heard it there. Yeah, quite intense, right? Where you have a guy just openly saying it. Now, I know a lot of people within the Christian community tie the word, the name, of Lucifer to the evil one, Satan. But it's if you actually look into it, the Lucifer, the individual he's not talking the individual that he's talking about is not the evil one. He's actually talking about, like I kind of indicated before, I believe they're very so much talking about Gilgamesh. They're talking about he who created the Philosopher's Stone, he who became Gibberine, a mighty man. And this mighty man, sure indeed, claims to have done all these things for the people, does he not? That he brings light and wisdom, and they want peace, right? They want prosperity. But obviously all of this is a veneer of what they're actually doing, and why they're, giving their children to the fires of Moloch, so this is a little follow-up video. It's a few minutes long. This is from Free the Captives on BitChute, and I'll go ahead and play this for y'all. I don't know if y'all kind of caught that, but they kind of double spoke there right at the end. So he was saying they're calling, Jesus the devil and the devil Jesus, but right here, let me pull this, right here in Revelation 9, they had a king, 9/11. Man, how dare you? I said 9/11. How dare you? Can I get a how dare you?
Get a how dare you?
How dare you?
Oh, I should be on my computer.
We'll wait for it.
How dare you?
So they said they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, the Elohim, right? Or the Theo, I'm pretty sure that's Theos as well, of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue has his name Apollyon. Apollyon and Abaddon is not
Satan.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, and they're well aware of this. They commonly use that type of language where everything's a counterfeit. So to Jesus would be Nimrod, and to what they classify as Yahweh would be Satan. That they would claim is over Yahweh, but really a lot of times it's that Gnostic demiurge concept where Yahweh and Satan are both two equal divine beings together and battling it out and whatnot. But it's all counterfeit, it's all twisted.
Yep, exactly. Even well, he kind of admitted there was Lucifer created by the Father. Yes. So therefore he's not God, right? So how is he all in all? So yeah, but there at the end they kind of admit it, and there's a little doublespeak. I'm sure y'all maybe picked up on that. And so at the end of that video, they talked about Zionism. So I got another little video I want to show y'all about one of the other. Will you please go big? There we go. One of the other. So we're talking about Freemasons, right? It even said the York Rite, and that was has a legend of being the first Masonic temple. So we're talking about in England, right? Or those Isles. That's where that one started. Well, let's jump across, some water and some land go all the way over to Jerusalem in that area, and they have a very similar idea of the truth. Of their truth, but a little different cultural representation. So let's check this out real quick, and we'll see what it's all about.
The Cabala is a collection of Jewish magical texts which were given to mankind via psychic communion with a fallen angel.
And they have a very similar idea.
Raziel is one of a pantheon of so-called fallen angels who serve...
BV.
We're getting feedback on you, Robert.
No, I think it's BV.
Yep, sorry.
I think it was BV. Anyways, thank you, fellas. Let's continue.
Of the light bringer, Lucifer. The Cabala describes the many angels and demons who inhabit the spiritual realm. The Cabala gives Kabbalists a roadmap called the Tree of Life, which explains how to invoke and communicate with these powerful spirits. The magical information in the Cabala originates from Babylon and ancient Egypt at the time of the pharaohs, but did not reach Europe in printed form until the 11th and 12th centuries. The sacred books of the Cabala are just a few thousand words long, but they contain complex descriptions of a spherical Earth, parallel universes, and the atomic nature of matter, ideas which have become common doctrine amongst modern physicists and astronomers. How could such complex information be contained in a group of ancient texts barely larger than an average magazine? The answer is that the Cabala is written in code.
Okay, I want to pause it real quick, and as we were talking about earlier, Kyle, how all of these things connect, right? It's no coincidence that we're talking about a secret occult religions, right? It didn't even reach England till the 1100s, and yet they're talking about Lucifer being the light. We're talking about modern physics and cosmology.
Exactly.
So it's all interconnected.
Same thing with computers and stuff like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. The coding systems and computers, as far as cosmology goes, what they teach in this, as far as the Earth being a ball that rolls to and fro, I think is how it's described. All the way down to quantum physics, it seems that quote unquote scientists pull their knowledge from these secret mystical texts. So it's not unknown to them. It's an application by the world for sure.
And it's literally a setup to a spike where they're like, all these scientists, right, are setting the ball, right, of the ball, literally. And then the mysticism is coming back and being like, boom, spiking. See, like, boom, we told you all this science and magic and sorcery all have something together. And guess who brought it to us? Prometheus, the bearer of light, Nimrod.
Mm-hmm.
Stole this stuff from the gods and gave it to the people. What happened after that point? And we saw that in Book of Enoch. We saw that in Genesis and other times before. So,
which I'm sure we'll get to in this, is that Nimrod is claimed to be the first Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I think there's probably some connections between Solomon and Nimrod too. It's almost like Solomon found some information that Nimrod had left behind and took that to use. Sweet. All right, let's continue watching this, and we'll talk about it a little bit.
Codes are used to conceal multi-layered, complex information, which would later be studied by medieval alchemists. Sir Isaac Newton and many leading scientists studied the rich occult sciences within the Cabala. There was a time when mysticism, religion, alchemy, astronomy, and astrology were studied as one Kabbalistically based tradition. Jewish physicist Albert Einstein conveyed pages and pages of complex calculation.
Robert, I'm getting it from you, brother. Apologize.
In a simple 5-symbol code. E equals mc squared. Modern-day quantum physics, chaos theory, and the notion of parallel universes can all be traced back to the original texts of the ancient Cabala.
Oh my God. They literally, like, it's out in your face. Like, literally all Newton did was read the Cabala and be like, I think the atoms are like this, describing literally the Cabala in a different way, just his interpretation of it, explaining it within the so-called material reality, and just reading from the Cabala and like plagiarizing it, rewording it a little bit so he's not actually plagiarizing it, and presenting it as the truth and fact of the world. It's insane. All right, let's keep going.
How dare you!
Yes.
The higher secrets of the Cabala included instructions on how to kill a person with just one look.
Ooh.
This is called the evil eye. The magical name for the evil eye is En-ha-Ra. In a wax cylinder recording made in 1921, we can hear British black magician and part-time espionage agent Aleister Crowley invoking the fallen demon angel.
Oh, look at that, a similar face. Weren't we just talking about Aleister Crowley and his connection to NASA and to the jet propulsion systems and all those people in those top spots? It's almost a coincidence that we're seeing his face.
Strange.
Raziel and En-Ra-Ha, the evil eye.
Oh my God, who wants to hear this babble? Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Everybody come see how evil we are. We're so cool. Special boys with fancy pants and lollipops.
Well, that leads to cannibal clubs.
I have to mock it. I have to.
Since medieval times, the Jewish people have been considered a race of magicians. The biblical rabbis used shaman-type techniques to induce altered states of consciousness. Fasting, flagellation, and burying oneself up to the neck were all techniques used to prepare the rabbi-magician for a battle through the 7 portals of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, where they would eventually meet the supreme deity in a realm called...
Guys, did y'all see that real quick?
Meet the supreme
Just
deity.
look at this. Look at this image, guys. The supreme deity. What does this make y'all think of? Look at what he's on and what that's on.
Mother Babylon is what I was thinking.
Yeah. He's literally on a sphere. He's on a throne on top of a sphere.
Here, yes. Mother Babylon.
Yep.
Just wanted to point that out real quick.
In a realm called the Merkaba. Ritual sex
Almost looks like great.
was also practiced amongst some Jews.
I did not see that part when I scribbled through this. Oh my god.
A strange version of vampirism or blood drinking.
Okay, yeah, at this point, I will let y'all go watch this yourselves if you want. It gets into dark black magic stuff, but just to show that this isn't just in the European nations. This isn't just in this is in cultures all across the world, even the special blood. So yeah, okay, let's see, what else did I have? Okay, this is I'm gonna go jump back to Freemasonry, and then we're gonna share what some other stuff that people got to show, and we'll jump back to some other stuff. So let's play this video real quick.
Masonry.
I just love
we've got at least 6 different ones now.
Restart it.
Who is the...
So I just wanted to point out real quick, I love how YouTube puts these little Wikipedia corrections to statements.
Caption box.
Yeah, it's like
context box.
Dude, it's so insane. They're like, just to let you know, please ignore who we are, right? Like, is this not what a secret society would do to keep people from looking up that knowledge? It's like they're so blind that they think that their tactics are good, but they're just dumb. So I just wanted to mock that real quick because it is very mockable. And let's go ahead and...
Yeah, they're going to have to try harder than that.
God of Masonry, because we've got at least 6 different ones now that we're talking about, because Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians are all different gods. Totally different concepts. Either all the religions of the world are wrong.
I want to disagree real quick with this. He said they're all different concepts. No, these are actually all the same concepts that are culturally represented within each respective culture and their form, right? And we're going to show that a little bit more. Secret societies isn't just a Freemason, just a European thing. We already looked at the, like the Middle Eastern area. We have it there. We're going to look at other places too. But this is nothing new, and they're all the same. But let's keep going.
Or one of them is right. That's the law of contradiction. So how are we going to deal with that? How, as a Mason, would you deal with that? As a Christian Mason?
Well, as a Mason, I'll go back to the peace and unity within the lodge, as you said, at all cost. And the idea is we have no dissension within the lodge. We do nothing to offend a man of another faith. So we each pray, and when we're each praying to our God. And privately and outside the lodge, you may discuss this with a brother, but in the lodge it is never brought up.
Would you say then that salvation in Masonry is a matter of the individual's relationship to his own God?
Yes, I'd say that. And a matter of his personal morality.
So Christ's statement, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," would be rejected by Masonry.
No, the Christian lodges would accept that premise.
But Masonry as a whole.
I can't speak for the other lodges in the other countries. I've never been to those.
But a Buddhist lodge would reject it.
I would have to assume you're right.
An Islamic lodge would reject it.
I'd also have to assume that.
How could they be your brothers? They've rejected your God.
We're brothers in the fraternity.
So you can be brothers in
Okay, so
Masonry
let's
and be worshipers of different gods.
let's pause it there real quick. So what's something that's interesting about Freemasonry as our modern within our modern world, right? Is, as you're saying, there's Arabic country lodges, there are Asian lodges, there are European lodges, American lodges, Canadian lodges,
Indian,
South American, everywhere across the world. So that right here, I wanted to show this to show that they're all connected anyways. And the reason why something like Freemasonry is acceptable in the US or in Europe or in Asia or in any part of the world is because they all have these similar beliefs anyway. So the men that have those beliefs seek out their local Freemasonry lodge because they get what it's about. And if they don't not necessarily get what it's about, they want to learn specifically. And so it just it connects so well to all these different cultures. That's exactly why all these cultures accept Freemasonry.
Yep.
So that we got a few seconds left of this. Let's finish this off, and then we'll go on to the next one.
Conceivably, yes.
A total opposite, of course, of biblical theology.
I suppose it could be interpreted as such.
So he's basically saying, I'm a Christian Mason, but I'm a Mason before I'm a Christian, because we don't fight about religion here. That's not our goal, right? Our goal isn't religion. It's going up these moral steps and learning this thing. And that's why in Masonry, they will accept anyone of any religion, but they do not accept atheists. And there's a reason why they don't accept atheists, is because a person who's Buddhist can get confused and brought to Freemasonry. A person who's Christian can get confused and be brought to Freemasonry. A person who's Catholic, a person who's Hindu, a person who's Islam can be confused by man and be brought to Freemasonry, because their goal, right, isn't some evil scheme to show you that Satan's the bad guy and ha ha ha, we celebrate the bad guy. It's that they have morally twisted it to show that Nimrod, or the evil one, is actually the good guy. And that we've been tricked, that we've been told the story of Jesus, right? But that the story of Jesus is only repeated, is only a copy of all these these BC pagan religions and beliefs. So we're gonna look at that a little bit, but I want to share.
Being an atheist gives you no belief.
Yeah, you can't get to the pinnacle of their belief, because their belief is they know that there's a deity and they know who they're worshiping, right? They can lead all the other ones astray, but if you're an atheist, they can't lead you astray because you don't believe in a God anyway. So if they told you that there's this angel that was made, you're not going to fall for it.
It would be for the lesser degrees, just like the Christian. It would be, up until they're initiated into a high enough degree, that spiritual understanding isn't going to play a role until you start being coerced into doing some debaucherous, evil things. That's really going to twist your own morality and put your own morality to the test. So same with an atheist. If an atheist was brought on board, they wouldn't be an atheist for very long because the amount of spiritual rituals and magic that they perform in these ceremonies and rites and the possessions they encounter, I can't imagine the atheist would continue being an atheist and just deny all that even had happened. It's yeah.
Yeah, I know. I totally feel you there. It is really interesting. It's like they that's why they have the kind of foothold that they do, is because they can, they can come by over the gate, right? Like it's very easy for someone who's and so when I talk about Freemasons, I'm not talking about, degree 29 and down. It even said in that video, don't share with this anyone under 33rd, 32nd, 31st, or 30. Just share it to those people. So they have that hierarchy so that they can slowly test people. So they basically, people aren't coming in and being like, by the way, Gilgamesh, Nimrod, Abaddon, Apollyon is who we're actually worshiping, not who your Jesus is. They slowly change the Jesus of Scripture to Nimrod, right, in their conversion process. And what's really interesting about that is they often attack Nimrod. I'm sorry, attack Christ. I just wanted I saw this picture. I wanted to share it with you. That's all it is a picture. Let me bring it up big for everyone else. So I something that I kind of just jumped out to me real quick. Y'all see this star, the moon right here?
Yes.
See how the stars are where the moon should actually be?
Yeah. Which is something we can observe from time to time, seeing stars through the dark of the moon.
They know, bro. They totally know. That's right there in your face. You think these guys that have all this precision in symbology, they're going to mess up on something like that? But yeah, they have all this creepy stuff. They have, their Freemasonry, their little rituals, their beliefs. They have the Noah's Ark here. They have their special super duper apron that they hide the underneath of. They have all these depictions with all these secret meanings. So as you progress within the religion, within the mystery religion, you come to know what these symbols mean. And so, as I've kind of talked about in the episode or the Pieces in Plain Sight Alien Invasion, they talk in symbols and colors and numbers. They talk in languages and all these different forms because they're a secret society. They're a mystery religion. You don't get to be enlightened unless you join the club, unless you sign up for a membership. So, just wanted to show that. Very creepy, in my opinion.
Vandermeer, that's kind of like in movies, you'll see them always referring to 33 or 66. It's everywhere. If you're watching a movie and you look in the background and you look at like the number on the door.
The number on the house, right? Like in Truman Show, I think it's literally like 336 or like 366. It's like they do it everywhere. It's in the license plates. It's in the phone numbers on the bill. They literally put it everywhere, and people are like, "Oh, you're just seeing things." It's like, no, this isn't just random clips. These are people producing a movie, getting these things in the shot. You don't think they have that edge of the paper in the shot? You don't think that they know that they have the number there in the background subliminally, So it's interesting when people do that. It's kind of weird, to be honest.
When they're making a movie and stuff like that, when they put something in the background, like you're saying, it's there for a reason. And, you can even point out when you're watching a movie, there's times where you can guess the ending really quick just by watching what's going on in the background and everything else. My wife always, like 20 minutes through a movie, I sometimes guess it. And she's like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "Well, I'm watching the background. It's telling you everything."
Yeah.
They forecast everything they do.
Yep, exactly. It's like kind of I was saying with the Cabala, right? Where they put the Cabala out and then they forecast the future religion, the future occult scientism, right? Through religion, and then that goes into science, and then now it's coming back to religion. So, all right, we have a few shorts here that Marcia shared with us, all talking about mystery schools, mystery religions. So we're gonna jump through these shorts and see what they got to say. So check it out.
Many mystery schools have been formed throughout history to initiate and guide humanity in its next spiritual stage. From one astrological age to another, these mystery schools and their teachers burn the ashes of the past, rekindling the flame, as Manly P. Hall beautifully put it, in order to lead humanity towards progress. And one of these mystical schools we now know as the Rosicrucian Order. Many mystery schools have been formed throughout history.
Real quick, that reminds me, they brought up there at the end the Rosicrucians. We know that R.C. Christian was the pseudonym of the person who put up the Georgia Guidestones that were blew up. You know, who knows why that happened, right? That was a quick trend within the truth community. But yeah, they're all over. All right, let's see what the next one's about.
Remember.
Did I get rid of the wrong one? Sorry, give me a second, everyone. I may have opened it twice, is what I may have done. Okay, yeah, I did open it twice. All right. Sorry, everyone. All right, let's watch this one.
He's also the one who told me about Bohemian Grove. These are the people that used to hang out at this place, and they would put...
Real quick, I don't know if y'all know, but...
That might have a few terrible things in it. I don't remember.
It's okay. Sorry for any weak words. One quick, I want to say he has deception on his shirt. Joe Rogan is a deception. See right here, he looks like a normal size human. He's actually only 3 inches tall, believe it or not. All right. Yeah, actually, I don't know if y'all know, but Joe Rogan got in trouble recently. This is a shout out to Big Bear. But Joe Rogan recently got caught killing a baby deer. Did y'all see that?
No.
Yeah, he's an avid hunter, but he has to hunt stuff his size. So recently he went on a baby deer expedition in order to in order to you know, be a part of the hunt. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all that picture real quick. Just give me a second to bring it up. It wasn't a baby deer, it was a baby elk. And there you go. You see Joe Rogan here standing by the baby elk, and it puts the size comparison in there for how big Joe Rogan actually is. Anyways, let's go ahead and play this video.
On robes, and they would worship an owl god, and they would burn an effigy, and they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit, and no one's denying that it's real.
Words.
This really did happen. They're in with these bankers and former presidents, and they're dressed like druids.
Yes.
And some guy brings over something it's an effigy that's supposed to be a body, a wrapped up effigy. It's also a bunch of sticks in a blanket, but it's like shaped like a body.
Yeah.
And then they drop it on the fire, and they're all worshiping an owl god. This place where like former presidents go.
So all out of all the, you know, we're all pretty skeptical as truth seekers of Alex Jones. We've seen his gatekeeping from here to there all ourselves. But one thing I will say is, you know, and this may even been a part of the plan, right? Like he may be a part of the club. I don't know. But the footage of him in Bohemian Grove with these effigies, with these owls, those pictures you saw, those, you know, woke up a lot of people, you know. So as bad as Mr. Mean Meatball can be, I do appreciate that he brought some of this truth to life, even if it was, you know, for ill purposes. So great video.
Do you think he really wasn't invited to be in the background?
I don't know. I don't know either way.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second. Come on. I mean, think about this, guys. This is Bohemian Grove. You can't get near this place. And you're telling me he got in without a problem, was able
That's
to
okay.
videotape, and then got away without a problem?
I'm not
sorry.
saying that. I'm saying, of course, I take all of that into account. I'm just saying, if his intentions were good, okay, we got to learn this information. If his intentions were bad, we still got to learn this information.
Got to learn this.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
agreed.
woke up to what was going on behind closed doors inside bushes at night. So
I think it's part of their plan anyway. They want what they're doing to be known by the public, pushed out into the public, and accepted by them,
And
externalized to them.
Yeah, normalize slowly. Yeah. Yeah, and if that's the point, awesome, right? Like if that awesome for them. I'm just saying, you know, the Father uses even the most evil actions for his own good, right? So how many people woke up to this, or to the beer bug, or to the Helios of this world? You know, even if it's a plan, they still lose along the way. So all right, let's check out this next short. This is by Far Out with Faust. Let's check out what he has to say.
Very few people understand the truth about who founded the world's Western secret societies and why. Google will try to tell you that they're just a bunch of glorified fraternities, nothing to worry about. Some conspiracy theorists say they began as a way to enslave the world with black magic. Here's what really happened. For thousands of years, sacred knowledge of the universe was carefully preserved in ancient mystery schools, until egomaniac rulers, kings, despots, popes, emperors realized that the best way to gain and maintain power was to capture or erase that knowledge. In order to preserve and protect ancient traditions, mystics and wise men were forced into hiding under the cover of some of these organizations, like the Knights Templar or the Rosicrucians. During what we now refer to as the Dark Ages, these men, including Dante, Da Vinci, and Galileo, were the keepers of the light. That is, until the secret societies were infiltrated. But that's another story.
The secret societies were infiltrated. It's like, no, the secret societies are the infiltration.
Right.
Yeah, no, he kind of went agnostic there for me. I do love how he pointed out that they have to do these behind closed doors now. They got to get into these mystery religions and do it under the guise of fraternities. Because if most of the population wouldn't put up with the type of behavior, the things that they do, they have to do it in the closed. And back to the previous video, so they slowly trick it up, you know, to boil a frog, you slowly turn up the heat. They slowly drip feed people deception and acknowledgement of the things that are going on, so that they slowly accept them. The frog slowly boils until it's dead.
Yep.
So, let's got another one from same guy. So let's check this out.
Ashoka the Great ruled over India and South Asia over 2,000 years ago. After a brutal victory that killed over 100,000 of his enemies, Ashoka swore off violence. Ashoka knew that knowledge is power, so he handpicked 9 trusted men who would remain anonymous to safeguard.
Did anyone see the Vramana, I think that's what it's called, and the serpent? Did y'all see that?
The staff and the serpent.
Yeah.
And the 9 people around the table.
Gaining priceless knowledge of the universe. This formed the oldest and most exclusive secret society in history. These books detail everything from psychological warfare to biotechnology, including how to perform the touch of death. They contain secrets of alchemy, cosmology, the speed of light, gravity, and even, of course, extraterrestrial.
How
Each
dare
unknown man
you?
had to choose a successor before he died in order to ensure the knowledge would not be lost or fallen into the wrong hands. All their identities remaining a secret legacy, though some of the most famous minds in history were rumored to be among the 9. Ashoka.
Okay, so I think that's. I just love the way that the Father syncs us up when we're looking for stuff. I'm actually going to show this 8-minute and 38-minute video. We'll break it up a little bit in between. But this is an ancient secret society. This is in the India area, the one that it last kind of talked about. This is the 9 unknown men. So we're going to watch this. We'll break it up. This is from Helio Wave. Helio. Where have I seen that before?
I pet goat. What was that?
What?
I pet goat 2 was by Helio.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking
Helio
about.
something.
Yeah.
All right, here, let's check this out. This is an ancient secret society, the 9 unknown men.
Okay, so there's a pervasive legend in India of a secret organization that allegedly has a vast amount of advanced knowledge in their possession, believed to have been formed over 2,000 years ago. The 9 unknown men is widely suspected of manipulating political and societal trends in order to further the personal goals of the 9. But is such a secret organization a reality, or is it merely the stuff of legend? So the theory is that these books of knowledge have been stolen or passed on to other secret societies, and they have been used for nefarious purposes, as you are about to find out. This was the exact opposite of what the original members wanted: fact, fiction, legend, or truth. Your guess is as good as mine. However, it's an interesting tale, and well worth a few minutes to look into. Now, I'm going to do my best with the names, so if I mispronounce something, you're going to have to deal with it. The Society of the 9 Unknown Men was formed shortly after 226 BC by Emperor Oshaka, the grandson of the legendary emperor, who unified the Indian subcontinent. Chandragupta Ashaka was anxious to uphold his grandfather's legacy and maintain the empire. In the region between Calcutta and Madras, the Kalingins resisted the imperial rule, leading to an all-out war. Oshaka's vastly superior forces are said to have killed over 100,000 of Kalinga's warriors and deported over 150,000 of the region's villagers. Even though he had won the war, Oshaka was aghast at the carnage such a victory entailed. From then on, he swore off violence forever. Emperor Oshaka is best known for his conversion to Buddhism and his efforts to spread the peaceful religion throughout India, as well as Malaya, Ceylon, and Indonesia. His efforts contributed to Buddhism's rise in China, Nepal, Tibet, and Mongolia. Oshaka was a sworn vegetarian, but he did not force others to do likewise. And some people in the US could take note of that. Anyway, indeed, he was incredibly tolerant of other religious sects. He did, however, prohibit the consumption of alcohol. More importantly, he renounced the idea of trying to integrate the rebellious people, declaring that the only true conquest was to win men's hearts by observance of the laws of duty and piety, because the sacred majesty desired that all living creatures should enjoy security, peace, and happiness, and to be free to live as they pleased. So committed was Oshaka to this mission that he sought to prevent his...
So I want to pause there real quick, because that's exactly what they want. And we heard that a little bit from the Freemason who was given his, talking about Christ and the Freemasonry and Christianity, is they want to all agree that do as thou wilt. You can do whatever you want to do. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but let's all get what we want in this world. And so we have obviously such contradictories, because this man wants peace, but he also wants everyone to be able to freely do what they want. Some of what men want to do are to kill people, are to steal from people. And so I just wanted to point that out. Anyone else have anything they want to throw out real quick?
No, that's really good. I mean, it just shows you the absolute hypocrisy of it. I mean, it's I want this utopia of peace and wonderful, but you're going to get murder and mayhem. It's just, yep.
All right, let's keep going.
Fellow man from putting their intelligence towards perpetrating evil, particularly the evil involved with warfare. The task of collecting, preserving, and containing all knowledge was too great for one emperor to do alone, not the least because of all the other duties required in ruling an empire. So what did he do? Well, Oshaka summoned 9 of the most brilliant minds in India, For security purposes, the identity of these men was never made public. Together, these geniuses formed a secret society that came to be known as the 9 Unknown Men. So, the organization set up accumulating all the scientific knowledge they could, from natural science to psychology to the composition of matter.
Real quick, I just want to point out the sun symbology right here. Right? Definitely the wheel. That's everywhere.
Nothing mentioned Nimrod.
Yep.
Gilgamesh.
Who does this guy look like? You know, we have that same style. This is India, but
Lion Hunter.
We have a very looking similar iconography, but just done a little bit differently in their cultural style.
Yep.
Hearing that if ordinary men were given access to this scientific knowledge, that they would use it for destruction. Only the 9 men were allowed to study and develop scientific theories and technology. To better accomplish this daunting task, each of the 9 was charged with one specific book that he was to update, revise, and ultimately perfect the knowledge therein. Now, when one of the 9 could no longer complete the task, whether from the wish to retire, fading health, or death, the obligation was passed on to a chosen successor. The number of members in this secret society was always meant to be 9. Thus, the Society of the 9 Unknown Men has allegedly lived on for over 2,000 years. Speculation about the contents of each of the 9 books varies widely. Talbot Mundy, an English writer, published a book entitled The 9 Unknown Men in 1923, which contained a list of the 9 books, and this list has come to be generally accepted. The first book, Propaganda. The first book dealt with techniques of propaganda and psychological warfare, and I quote, "The most dangerous of all sciences is that of molding mass opinion, because that would enable anyone to govern the entire world." Now,
okay, is that not what everyone says? So this is accepted of what they were talking about, the first being propaganda. And think about all of the recent modern, trends, whatever it is. Are they not molding mass opinion by these events? They're getting people to choose sides, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas. They're getting people to, mask, no mask, right? And it gets us all disassociated, not ununited, and lets them govern the world. It's quite out there in your face. Let's go. Let's keep going.
that sounds very poignant to our current situation, don't you think? Anyway, the second book discussed physiology and explains how to kill a person simply by touching him or her, known as the touch of death, simply by the reversal of a nerve impulse.
Wait, I thought this was for peace and not for evil, for not to use against mankind. I thought they all came to... Yeah, the touch of death. They're literally talking about like where everyone can live peacefully and happily, but yet one of them is talking about how to touch someone to kill them, to murder them. Pretty interesting. Talk about hypocrisy.
Kind of like the look of death, the eye of death. Which one was that?
It is said that the martial art of judo is the result of leakages from the second book. The third volume focused on microbiology and biotechnology. Again, that's very poignant to our current world situation. The fourth book dealt with alchemy and transmutation of metals. According to another legend, in times of severe drought, temples and religious relief organizations received large quantities of gold from a quote-unquote secret source. The fifth book contained a study of all the means of communication, terrestrial and extraterrestrial, alluding to the fact that at the time the 9 unknown men were aware of the alien presence. The sixth book focused on secrets of gravitation and actually had instructions on how to make the ancient Vedic Vimana, which is a craft that was rumored to be in use in ancient civilizations. The seventh book contained information about cosmology and the matters of the universe. The eighth book dealt with light, including the speed and how to use it as a weapon. Now the ninth and final book discussed sociology. It included rules for the evolution of societies and the means for foretelling their decline. But were the 9 unknown men real? Oshaka very well may have asked 9 men of unknown identities to gather scientific knowledge, particularly in regards to the application of warfare. This was a very fractious time, and other emperors have been known to order similar initiatives. These men may have explored different empires, battle tactics and training, weapons and manufacturing, horse and elephant handling, and maybe even gunpowder usage. However, an ancient group living on in secrecy for over 2,000 years, controlling global events from the remote jungles of India, with not a hint of modern equipment, infrastructure, or technology is pretty hard to believe. For many, the legend is, more than likely, just a legend. So yeah, although it may only be a legend, the theory is that these books have been subverted, stolen, used for nefarious reasons, and are now in the possession of other secret societies. Fact, fiction, legend, or truth, your guess is as good as mine.
All right, we'll end it there. So just right there at the end, we literally see all of those books, right? And he keeps bringing it up. It's like, man, it's like these things that they were talking about, that this secret society was talking about those thousands years ago. It's like it matters in this very modern day. All the things they were talking about, extraterrestrials and terrestrials.
Yep.
They were talking about the cosmology and the planets and light and all the stuff that they're currently doing right now. It's the same script, guys.
Pillars of modern knowledge and wisdom. Literally today, if you say you believe the Earth is enclosed by a firmament, they're jumping straight to that pillar of cosmology. You question that one, then there's something in there where they'll go to quantum physics. They'll jump to another one. They're all connected in a way where they all work in one cohesive deception, I guess, the way I put it.
Yeah, exactly. And you literally painted that so beautifully, because that's literally what they do. They literally are, when there's debates with Globers and stuff like that, they are pulling out unknowingly out of these mystery religions as their proof that the Bible is incorrect, right? They're literally using this secret society's information as their information, as it's scientific and we can prove it, right? When they're literally plagiarizing the Cabala, whether the Cabala was plagiarizing these guys or vice versa, it's insane.
But it's not a religion now. It's not a religion. It's purely science. Purely science.
Yeah, even though it's directly connected in every way to all of these mystery religions, it's not religious, it's scientific.
Right. Cool story, bro.
So crazy. All right, we got a couple more short videos. Let's check these out, and we'll see what we got.
George W. Bush and his father were part of an elite secret society at Yale University known as Skull and Bones, or the Brotherhood of Death. The society, which has been called the most successful elite network in America, consists of 15 members each year and conducts secret rituals and meetings, which reportedly include spending time in coffins and reporting on their sex lives to the group every Sunday night. The society has also been accused of possessing the skulls of President Martin Van Buren, Native American leader Geronimo, and the Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa. In the case of George W. Bush, after graduating, he used his connections with the Bonesmen to gain employment, finance his first oil company, and gain ownership of the Texas Rangers baseball team. Once Bush became president, he appointed fellow Bonesmen in multiple positions in his own government. According to Alexandra Robbins, author of The Secret Tombs, an expose of Yale's secret societies, all but one of the other 14 Bonesmen from the class of 1968 spent a night at the White House under George W. Bush's presidency. George W. Bush and his father were part of...
Yeah.
Does that really blow our minds, though, that presidents are attached to secret societies?
No.
When, if you look, give me a little lean, Robert, you can see that our very own George Washington was a Freemason, guys. He was a 33-degree Freemason. And so, every president.
Yes. Yeah.
Almost every president.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I think our history is all made up. The Revolutionary War, everything. I mean, the hero and the first president is a 33-degree Mason, like the head of the show. Come on.
Well, Frankie, on top of that, if you look at, I got many books of, going back to the First World War, the Civil Wars, all that. It always shows them in brand new uniforms, doing the whole hand tucked in their shirt and stuff like that. Like, if you're on the front lines, you're going to get dirty. It's not like they're going to wash all your stuff just to take a picture while you're getting war. It doesn't work that way. So I agree, Frank. I agree.
Yeah, who knows what's real, what's not. You know, we can kind of guess some of it or make some some educated guesses, but the real story, no one knows. All right,
yeah, the whole story of the Betsy Ross flag, everything. I mean, it's all so patriotic. Ooh, look at us. You know, come on, man.
Yep, propaganda. All right, let's
welcome everyone. I'm back.
Hey, Frankie B, welcome, brother. All right, let's continue.
275 years ago, the Freemasons established their first lodge in Germany. In the venerable church of St. Michael, the members of what is probably the biggest secret society in the world are celebrating a jubilee. A hidden parallel world exists in our midst.
Jubilee.
One with its own special symbols and strange rituals. "275 years ago, the Freemasons established..."
What a bunch of weirdos, dude. They're literally so weird. They have secret hand symbols, secret shakes. It's literally insane. Like, and they have these weird aprons. They wear these they're such special boys.
But they do it right in front of us to the point where average people will not see it. They will never see it. We can show it to them over and over and over again. They'll never see it. It's only a small few are seeing what's going on. Like it says in the end times, with God, only a small few will see. I'm not saying I'm part of it, but I'm seeing some things that most people don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
And that's just the things they're doing that are weird out in public. What they do behind closed doors is just a whole nother world that people knew about. They would be a little more, a little more worried about what they were seeing out in public.
They'd be a little bit more torch and fork, pitchfork-ish.
Like they did that little, they stuffed this man with sticks. Oh no, they probably used a real person.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's just a bag of sticks. It's just a bag of sticks. We would never use a real person.
No.
Back in the day, when you went into a town, even going back 100 to 300 years, if there were doctors and stuff like that coming into town, they always came and sold potions. And then all of a sudden people got sick. Then they gave them the cure. Mm-hmm. But when they found this out, they always hung them right in the beginning of town. So when you walked in, it showed, if you're one of these, you're not welcome. Yeah. They did that everywhere.
Oh, yeah. All right, this is a article that our Robert shared. We're just going to read through this. It says the 10 most elite secret societies in history, and we're not gonna read all of it, but we're gonna kind of skip through of us. A lot of us have already heard this, but for those who haven't, we'll kind of go over it. So this is Ordo Templi Orientis. It says Ordo Templi Orientis is a mystic organization that was started in the early 20th century. The group was established along the same lines as the less secretive Freemasons and supposedly relies on rituals and occult practice as means for members to move from one level of prestige to another within the organization. The general philosophy of the group was belief in a new age esoteric principles and practices as a method of realizing one's true identity in the evil one. Famed occultist and all-around eccentric Aleister Crowley composed much of the group's lore, including a manifesto called the Mysteria Mystica Maxima, and he later became its head. After his death, the influence and popularity of Ordo Templi Orientis began to wane, but it still exists today and in various chapters scattered across the world, chiefly in the United States, the UK, and other parts of Europe. So yeah, Aleister Crowley, super big creep, did a lot of horrendous things to a lot of people, and if I don't think he's the beast, but he's probably going to be bound with the beast and tossed into the fires of Gehenna. But of course, the Father is merciful, so I won't make that claim. We all heard of the Bilderberg group. Oh, go ahead.
No, real quick. I was just gonna say most people don't realize that with the Freemasons and those groups, there's order lines. Like back in the day, it was mainly just certain males. Then they opened a door, so then the wives had their own Masonic links, but they're not allowed to supersede their husbands,
Yep, the
and
daughters
so
of
on
the
and so
Nile.
on. Yes, yes. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. The Bilderberg Group, we've heard about this. This is multinationals, royal families from all around the world, representatives of the world banks, of major corporations. They all meet together behind closed doors, and they are doing basically all the things that the 9 men were talking about, the 9 unknown men. They were doing all this in secrecy. They didn't want to share this information, right? Because it might ruin the world, but they were still steering the public. This group still goes on. This was another one big thing that was kind of brought up by Alex Jones, kind of brought up to the forefront. We kind of talked about the Night Templars a little bit. They're still in a modern times. To me, the Knights Templar are like some of the most special boys, because if you look at their art that they have, it's always like in, with a sword, with this armor, like looking all cool, like there are these some kind of knights, when it's like, this is not the type of men we're dealing with in the in the Knights Templar. Again, they're claiming this history that goes back to the murder of thousands of innocents, if not more. Freemasons are world, the Order of the Golden Dawn. It says, yep, and they subverted Christianity 100%. 7, the Order of the Golden Dawn. The Order of the Golden Dawn was created by Dr. William Robert Woodman, William Wynne Westcott, and Samuel Little McGregor Mathers. All 3 were Freemasons and members of Societies of Rosicrucian in Angela, an organization with ties to Masonry. It is considered by many to be a forerunner of the Ordo Templi Orientis and a major of modern occult groups. The belief system of the Golden Dawn is largely taken from Christianity, mysticism, Cabala, Hermeticism, the religion of the ancient Egypts, Freemasonry, alchemy, philosophy, magic, and Renaissance writing. Guys, literally all the things we were talking about.
Yeah, how dare they say the Christianity hypothesis? What did they call it?
Mysticism, Christian mysticism.
Which is Gnosticism.
Yeah, literally. So they just subvert and subvert and subvert, and literally these are all the things that we're talking about. We're talking about ancient Egypt and Ra. We're talking about Freemasonry. We already talked about alchemy. We talked about Cabala and magicism. We talked about Hermeticism. All of this stuff is the same, guys. It's the same thing. That's why in modern times they're adding it all together. Instead of it being all these separate things, they're making it one body, one relief. And of course they're doing it under Christian mysticism to suck out the Christians into from their failed churches into something where they feel like it's real. Sweet. So let's keep going. So the Black Hand was a secret society of an anti-imperialist political revolution that was started in Serbia in 1912. It was formed and overshoot from Andoria Aberona, a group that was sought to unite all the Slavic people of Europe under one country. This required the separation of Serbia from the monarchy of the Austrian-Hungarian, which was annexed the country some years before. With this in mind, the group began disseminating anti-Austrian propaganda and training saboteurs and assassins to distribute political rule within the province. These plans was to incite a war between Serbia and Austria, which would give them a chance to free their country and unite the different Slavic nations as one. Black Hand would all but be forgotten today if it wasn't like for their unlikely involvement in one of the biggest events of the 20th century. In 1914, the group engineered the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The job was badly botched and was only completed when a low-level hood named whatever stumbled upon Archduke's car and shot him to death at close range, and his wife, by the way. So we have a short literally about this event, and here it is. A secret society happens to be attached directly to the assassins that created World War One. Right?
Well,
So
Vader, that also goes along with when the Fed happened. Right before the Fed did their thing, they created what they called the Titanic. They even called it the biggest tyranny. So they invited everybody that was on one side that was going to vote a certain way and get everything going to go on these ships.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Now they took the Fed, and here we are nowadays. I just want to throw that.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is nothing's new under the sun, as Scripture says. All right, so we have the Hashashani. Says the Hashashanan or Nizari were a mysterious band of Muslim assassins that operated in the Middle East during the 13th century. The group was made up of Shiite Muslims who broke off from a bigger sect and banded together in the order to establish a utopian Shiite state. Because their number was small, the group used guerrilla tactics in their battle against the enemies, including espionage, sabotage, and most famously political assassination. So you know what's so interesting to me about these groups is they're so secret. They get their orders from one person. Who'd that person get their orders from? Who'd that person get their orders from? And when you do some research, you kind of see that they're all connected. That these are groups that are within groups that are within groups. They're in the same circle. They're just in a smaller circle within that bigger circle. So nothing new under the sun. What's up, brother?
It's the same thing as with the presidents. They all say they get orders from above. I think it's a CFR committee or something like that. They get their orders from somebody else. I'm just saying that's one of the theories. But even Hillary came on and said, no, we get our orders from down the street. That means that they're not on top. Here's another one. How come presidents can't just open anything secret? They can only open certain things. They're not allowed to look at everything. That means they're not on top.
Yep, absolutely.
And we all know who they really get their orders from.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So the Knights of the Golden Circle. The Knights of the Golden Circle was a secret society that flourished in the U.S. during the American Civil War. In the beginning, the group sought to encourage the annexation of Mexico and the West Indies, which they believed would help waning slave trade to once again flourish. But once the Civil War started, the group switched its focus from colonialism to fervent support to the newly established Confederate government. The Knights soon had thousands of followers, many of whom formed guerrilla armies and began raiding Union strongholds in the West. In the northern states, the mysterious order had an even bigger impact. Many newspapers and public figures engaged in witch hunts, where they accused supposed Southern sympathizers, including President Franklin Pierce, of members of the Knights of the Golden Circle. Unlike most secret societies, the Golden Circle didn't just concern itself with the clandestine meetings and mysterious plans. Instead, the group often formed renegade armies and bands of bushwhackers in order to forward their agenda by force. So you know, something really interesting is we know that, so here it says that the Knights of the Golden Circle, they were trying to set it up so that they could continue to have slavery. Interesting, because the North, they were doing certain things so that they could continue slavery, just under a different banner. Same thing, different banner, no different. So we got two sides vying for the same thing, and if one succeeds, the other succeeds. We saw this a little bit earlier, the Order of the Skull and Bones. It's Yale Versity. They do obscene things within coffins. They do obscene screaming rituals. They're very big weirdos. There are some videos out there showing this kind of stuff. Very weird. Okay, so we've already talked about the Freemasons. I just want to go over this real quick. Guys, if you don't know, when you become a first-degree Mason, you got to do a ritual. When you become a second-degree Mason, you do a ritual. And they already told you through all these other secret societies, mystery religions, often to get to the next level of prestige, you would have to go through a ritual. Well, we know that scripture indicates that you don't make any secret vows or oaths. You let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes.
Correct.
And we know that within Freemasonry and a lot of the stuff that comes out, they do a lot of wicked, creepy stuff. I believe the first one that you, I think it's actually the 3rd degree, you get a bag put over your head, a noose put around your neck, and you get dragged to the altar. And they basically tell you, you better not say anything. Because if you do, they take off the hood, and all their friends are sitting there with swords, knives to the new initiate's neck. So, and if you have ever watched Sean's channel Kingdom in Context, you've seen that the Jesuits make these sick oaths about, you know, them getting disemboweled and them going through these painful, torturous things. Now, and the last one here is Illuminati. This was started by Adam Weishaupt in 1776 in Bulgaria. I also have a short about this in the channel. For those that don't know, I'm not going to read through this. We know about the Illuminati mostly because a courier holding, you know, not classified, but secret documents just so happened to be struck dead by lightning right outside of a town. The police found this documents, all the names of the people, and that is one of the reasons why we know about the Bulgarian Illuminati. Now, of course, a lot of people say the Illuminati are still around. Of course, they probably are, but how they've culturally changed, what they are now, who knows? But one thing I want to say about all these groups is they're telling you about these all groups. So the real players,
Absolutely.
they're above these groups. They're not named. They don't have a club that has a name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're the ones running like BlackRock, Vanguard, that own everything. I'm not saying those are the names, but those are the ones that we can see so far. And then there's, like you said, a number of people probably behind the scenes making the votes, doing what they got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's check out this. This is what Kyle shared with us. This is from the vault at the femaleBodyInspectors.gov. The protocols of the learned elders of Zion. So let's see what they got to say. This is worth reading. Protocols of the meetings of the learned elders of Zion. Translated from the original Nias documents, condensed, prepared, and distributed in the interest. Oh, that's I'm getting echo from someone. Distributed in the interest and welfare of Christians and humanity in general throughout the world. Special request. Kind reader, will you please help to broadcast this message of warning throughout the entire world? Okay, I'm going to skip that. Introduction. The protocols.
We should skip to the, yeah.
Okay. The protocols consists of 24 documents, first published in Russia, 1905 by Sergei Nilus. In 1906, copies were placed in the British Museum. Jewish authorities naturally denied the authenticity of these documents. I love that, naturally. Can I get a dun 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 dun? But Jewish authorities naturally denied the authenticity of these documents. Let's hear it, Robert. Dun, dun, dun. All right, we'll try it one more time. Jewish authorities naturally denied the authenticity of these documents.
Ow, Robert. Ow.
In an interview, February 17th, 1921, given publicity in New York World, Mr. Henry Ford, expressing himself in regards to the protocols, said, "They fit in with what is going on. They have fitted the world situation up to this time. They fit it now. The Nihilist documents in Russian were translated into English by Russian correspondents for the Morning Post." Where am I? For the Morning Post. He is quoted, Britain's pub associate who copied was used for this reprint, as saying that during the work of the translation, the diabolical spirit of the spirit of the matter, which was obliged to turn into English made him positively ill. The work probably cost him his life. Protocol means minutes of prodicure. In this case, it is alleged to mean the minutes of proceedings of the learned elders of Zion, Lucifer's pawns, in the form of addressing delivered to an innermost circle of the rulers of Zion. The truth of the protocols is proved as you would be proved the text pushing the electronic in an arithmetic, or as you would prove the existence of electricity by pushing the electric button. The protocols are proved in manner, habit, custom, and behavior of the Jews themselves, and by the results which have followed Jewish participation in the civil, social, industrial, financial, and political problems. The Jews have indeed lived up to the protocols. Perhaps the protocols alone can be depended upon to reveal to the deluded socialists their illusion, and how they were outwitted by a centric, intriguing plot too complex for the average mind to interpret. The same applies to modern Christianity. Comparing Jewish propaganda practices intrigue with the spirit and letter of the protocols reveals a clandestine antichrist attack upon Christians. Sovietism in Russia became the protagonist of the protocols' intentions. Judaism became socialism by invention, organizing, and controlling movement. At the first, the socialists were promised an end to the exploitation and were deluded into believing that socialism was to it's kind of hard to read, about the end of rent, interest, profits, and also to bring something but a demonic society. The protocols and Russian sample of the Sovietism reveal that Judaism means to rule over the world, over a world slavery of all other races by the mythic king of the Jews, carrying out the fabrication demology that the Jews are a chosen people of God. Judaism means to dictate state which owns, operates, and controls all production, distribution, in short, everything. Yeah, and we literally, I think this is perfect for, what's going on. We kind of already talked about how the secret societies are in all the different parts of the world, right? And we talked about Kabbalism and how it's in every part of the world, and how we have all these other secret societies, these mystery religions that all believe the same things, have the same types of behaviors, and so naturally they can see that they're the same type of people. So again, there's much more to read here. I'm not going to go through.
Skip to maybe some of the protocols.
Yeah,
I was going to say maybe read like protocol 2 or 3 or something like that.
Let's look at protocol 2. Okay,
1 second, David. Let me add one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, okay? And that is, back in late 1800s, early 1900s, people don't realize that they had electric vehicles back then. And they had, you can see other things, but I'm going to basically go with electric vehicles. What happened was you had the main oil companies turn around, buy up all the technology, and shelf it.
Yep.
You can look at old photographs, everything. I was just linking that to something that you said a minute ago, so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that brings me to something that you brought that up. I believe the whole globe theory was made up and funded by the oil companies to hide all that old technology, because electromagnetic technology runs off the electromagnetic pulse that comes out of the North Pole, and it only works on a flat Earth model. So they came up with the globe to hide all that technology, so that we can, because you could literally get a magnetic generator and run a pole up your house and have free electricity. But they don't want us knowing that technology, and they don't want people doing that, getting off the grid.
Yeah, I think I totally see where you're coming from. Another kind of interesting part about that is how we were already talking about you earlier in the show. We were talking about the Cabala, where they talk about, atomic physics. They talk about the heliocentric model. And a lot of these mystic religions are coming from that same point. We saw with the 9 unknown men from the Hindu, where they were talking about the same thing, the cosmology, the atom, the speed of light, all these things. And so, yeah, I totally think that part of what they do as the special boys that they are is they're like, hey guys, this information, it's not for the animals, right? This is just for us learned men. So we're going to keep this information to ourselves and rule over them, because if we don't control them, they'll just destroy themselves. So we're doing it for their good. We're enslaving them for their good. We are,
Hey, Vader.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Did you see that video that I sent you?
You sent me a lot.
I sent you a video today. I sent you a video today. It's the book of free old world energy. It has everything in it. All the Tesla stuff, the flying saucers that fly off the electromagnetic pulse, everything that we've been like truthing and finding out about it. It's called the Book of Old World Energy or something like that.
I'll have to check it out. No, I think I might have missed that one.
It's in your text thread. And my name.
That goes along with about 100 to 200 years ago. They always showed in paintings, you had like Zeppelin type things pulling up to these towers where then the people would get on and get off and stuff like that. They were all powered by free energy, like we're talking, from the atmosphere. You know, they had everything, and they even joke around about it in some of the cartoons that we saw when we were kids. But you never. Hey, matter of fact, did you guys know that there's still companies out there creating these Zeppelins that on the bottom shows, it's like a video screen showing the top. So anyway, they're pumping these all out, but we never see them anywhere.
Oh yeah,
Nowhere.
I think that's basically what Starlink is like a group of ballooned Zeppelins, that are all attached together. They have motors, they have different compartments. Yeah, absolutely. They didn't get rid of this technology. They didn't make up this technology. They're finding it from these religions that have been hiding this technology. Because like I was kind of showing is that they're special boys, right? We don't deserve this knowledge because we're just animals. We're just, useless eaters, right? But yeah, let's check out. Let's finish out this thing, and we got one little part that I want.
Or as they call us, cattle.
Yep.
In this.
Yep. So
mouse readers.
This is Protocol 2 of the Protocols of Zion. So we must see to the wars be brought on economical grounds, putting the nations into the mercy of our international agentur, when our international rights of gold will wipe out all national rights. Our employees chosen from the Goyim cattle must be a type that submit to the blind and servile obedience to our specialists and advisors who have been trained from childhood to rule the affairs of the world. These are not empty words. Think of the success we are arranged for Doroism, Marxism, Zeitgeism, etc. To us Jews, it is plain what a destructively disintegrating force these directives have upon the minds of the Goyim cattle. The great force of today is the press. It is in our hands, and through it we have gained the gold gathered out of the oceans of blood and tears. We have had to sacrifice a few of our own people, but one of us in the great sight of God is worth 1,000 Goyim cattle. How dare you?
Where's the how dare you, Robert?
How dare you? Right.
Yeah, so of course this is more insane stuff from that group of people, which is the secret society. They don't openly like to talk about these things. If you found a member of this group, they would not openly talk to a goyim, a cattle, about this information. And of course, even though that it's declassified, they do not like it to be well known. So hopefully YouTube doesn't grabbler tube me like this protocols are trying to do. Okay, this is the last thing I want to share. Many people have seen this movie, Coming into the Truth of the World, but I just want to point something out. Definitely, where we were looking at that list that Robert shared, we had the Golden Circle of the Ages or whatever. So this movie is called Zeitgeist, the movie. This was a big tripper upper, a big stumbling block for a lot of believers coming into the truth, coming into questioning their reality. I'm just going to play this opening part and let them make a whole bunch of false accusations. I want to say real quick, all these statements that this guy is saying are false and you can disprove them. But I just want to show you that they have the propaganda arm. Like that last one said, they do it through the press. They do it through the ability to put ideas and thoughts into people's mind. And this was a successful one. But again, with all the evil works and their evil intentions, the Father uses it for his own good. So let's check this out for a minute, and we will see what it has to say.
This is the sun. As far back as 10,000 BC, history is abundant with carvings and writings reflecting people's respect and adoration for this object. And it is simple to understand why, as every morning the sun would rise, bringing vision, warmth, and security, saving man from the cold, blind, predator-filled darkness of night. Without it, the cultures understood the crops would not grow and life on the planet would not survive. These realities made the sun the most adored object of all time. Likewise, they were also very aware of the stars. The tracking of the stars allowed them to recognize and anticipate events which occurred over long periods of time, such as eclipses and full moons. They in turn cataloged celestial groups into what we know today as constellations. This is the cross of the zodiac, one of the oldest conceptual images in human history. It reflects the sun as it figuratively passes through the 12 major constellations over the course of a year. It also reflects the 12 months of the year, the 4 seasons, and the solstices and equinoxes. The term zodiac relates to the fact that constellations were anthropomorphized or personified.
You know what, guys? I want to stop this real quick, and I want to talk about something real quick.
We know today
about
constellations
this.
Were images in human.
Okay, so you know in Enoch where it talks about the separations. So look at this: 90 days, 90 days. 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. 1 day. 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. 1 day. 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. 1 day. So they have all the different solstices on here separated by the line. So you literally have 364 days.
Yep.
Pretty interesting. All right.
That used to be 13 months.
In history, it reflects the sun as it figuratively passes through the 12 major constellations over the course. There
wasn't 31 days or 30 every month. There was 28. We're supposed to be going by a lunar calendar, if I'm not correct.
Well, what my
I would
kind of
suggest.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say Enoch and Jubilees go off multiple witnesses: the stars, the sun, and the moon for determining time.
Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to use all three because he literally created the sun, the moon, and the stars, and then said, this is for the Moedim. This is for the appointed times. So you have to use all three for it to... He tells you in scripture right at blank, like all three of these, they're used for the appointed times. That's our calendar.
Got you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
The 12 months of the year, the 4 seasons, and the solstices and equinoxes. The term zodiac relates to the fact that constellations were anthropomorphized or personified as figures or animals.
Just like the Holy Spirit is.
Civilizations did not just follow the sun and stars, they personified them with elaborate myths involving their movements and relationships. The sun, with its life-giving and saving qualities, was personified as a representative of the unseen creator or God, God's Son, the light of the world, the savior of humankind. Likewise, the 12 constellations represented places of travel for God's Son, and were identified by names, usually representing elements of nature that happened during that period of time. For example, Aquarius, the water bearer, who brings the spring rains. This is Horus. He is the sun god of Egypt of around 3000 BC. He is the sun anthropomorphized, and his life is a series of allegorical myths involving the sun's movement in the sky. From the ancient hieroglyphics in Egypt, we know much about this solar messiah. For instance, Horus, being the sun or the light, had an enemy known as Set, and Set was the personification of the darkness or night. And, metaphorically speaking, every morning Horus would win the battle against Set, while in the evening Set would conquer Horus and send him into the underworld. It is important to note that dark versus light, or good versus evil, is one of the most ubiquitous mythological dualities ever known, and is still expressed on many levels to this day. Broadly speaking, the story of Horus is as follows. Horus was born on December 25th of the Virgin Isis Mary. His birth was accompanied by a star in the east, and upon his birth he was adored by 3 kings. At the age of 12, he was a prodigal child teacher, and at the age of 30, he was baptized by a figure known as Anup, and thus began his ministry. Horus had 12 disciples he traveled about with, performing miracles such as healing the sick and walking on water. Horus was known by many gestural names such as the Truth, the Light, God's Anointed Son, the Good Shepherd, the Lamb of God, and many others. After being betrayed by Typhon, Horus was crucified, buried for 3 days, and thus resurrected.
Okay, so it's going to then go through, and I'm going to it's going to be hard to skip it through it, but in this whole movie, you'll literally talk about all these different gods and how they were all born to virgins and they were all resurrected after 3 days and they were all crucified. They all had these names, and people,
which they weren't.
Yeah, a lot of these are not true. If you actually look into these claims, you will run into where, oh wow, he just kind of added that straight up. He didn't even look into it because that's not what it says. So you will not only will you run into that, but what I want to point out is that he is trying this, the creator of this video, the creators of this video are trying to emphasize that Jesus, that Horus, that Tammuz, that all these other examples are all the same. And the reason why I want to point that out is exactly the fact that all of the pagan religions are the same. They are different cultural representations. All the secret societies, they're same goals. They have the same goals. They have the same desires. They have the same sick rituals. Maybe not dot for dot, but in spirit, in essence, they're exact same thing. Essence, same essence. Yeah, and so like these triune gods, they have that same essence. And so
all 10,000 of them.
Yep, all 10,000 of them and more. You know, so they try to, like we saw with the Golden Circle, they try to subvert Christianity. They try to bring Christianity over to the paganism. Did we not see that with the quote unquote Holy Roman Catholic Church? They went from a pagan organizations to a quote unquote Christian organization. We look at Constantine and Constantinople. He took it from a Christian organization to a pagan religion. We see this happen all around the world, all through the different sects or denominations of Christianity, to this very day, in this very country, and all the other countries around the world. So all that being said, we got all these secret societies. They're affecting the government. They're affecting the economy. They view us as beasts, as cattle, as goyim. They do dark, rituals, horrendous things. What does that mean for us as believers? Well, first of all, I want to say, let me go ahead and end that part of it. First of all, I want to say is greater who is in us, everyone, than who is in of the world. We know who the prince of this world is right now. And we know that they have their dark meetings, they have their spooky rituals, their gross tactics. But at the end of the day, even their most evil ideas, even their most evil plans will the Father use for his glory. And we talked about
Absolutely.
it. We talked about it throughout this whole episode, that even though they, the Bohemian Grove, even if they let Alex Jones in, it woke people up. The Bilderberg group was exposed. Maybe it tripped some people up, but it also woke some people up. So the Father is here for us, guys. And we shouldn't be surprised, as 2 Thessalonians says, right? Chapter 2, that the evil is already at work. They're already scheming and plotting to bring their special boy day, to have their special blood rule, to have their special magic, sustain them. All like their father and their brother. They want to be the special boys. They want to live forever. They want that deal that the serpent offered Eve in the garden. And so don't fear, guys. Why fear death, right? Why fear those who can only kill us and not kill our souls? Why spend our time fearing these people? We should have this knowledge so that we can bring it up, so that we can educate people about it, so we can talk about it and move forward in our knowledge, but not be obsessed with this stuff. You could, of course, spend all your time looking at the Egypts and all the special boy stuff they could do. You could look at the Greeks and all the special boy do. And of course, it's important to look at these things. But we, again, greater is he who is in us than it is in the world. We know how this ends, and we know what's awaiting for those who want to tie themselves to evil instead of good, those who want to believe lies instead of truth. So that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the episode tonight. Here shortly we'll have the after show in Discord, so if you'd like to have an uncensored conversation away from Grabblertude, please check the link in the description. You can join us in North Corner, and we can talk about more of this stuff. Maybe play some more of these videos that were a little too much for YouTube. But that being said, we'll go ahead and say our goodbyes and call it a night, and hope to see y'all at the after show. So we'll jump over to you, Marsha, and let you say your goodbyes.
Goodbye, everyone. Another good show. And it's going to spill over. Everything spills over into the next show. I tell you, it doesn't.
Yep, it's almost like the Ouroboros. It's like the serpent eating its tail.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Hey, all right, Robert.
All right. Not a good show, guys. Stick around into the after show.
Yep, love to talk to y'all. If y'all are a little too shy to be on YouTube Live, but you'd like to join the conversation, definitely check the link in the description. We'll jump over to you, Kyle, brother.
Shalom, everyone. Obviously, a great topic, very important one, one that most people find out about early on in their walk in the truth. So tying it to the rest of everything that goes on in the world is super important.
Absolutely.
With that said, I'd like to say thanks for having me. Have a blessed night, everyone.
Absolutely. Jump over to you, BV.
Hey, it like I said, it's always a pleasure listening and picking each other's brains. I mean, that's what I really love about this. Now, 1 second. You guys, you played the Zeitgeist. That was one that when I was like 5 years into starting to wake up, I saw that, and part of that did
trick you,
start to wake me up. Yeah. Well, it tricked me.
Parts of it tricked you, part of it woke you up.
Yeah, and later on, after I heard people talking about it, and there was 2 and 3, I started realizing what you were talking about, how, okay, wait a second, they're trying to really confuse my butt and everything. So everything happens for a reason. God sent it. God is letting the devil have his playground so then he can do what he's got to do. And you know what? I'm so glad I've gone through and learned all this. I would not want to not be like this in this world the way it is now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Good show.
Love you having you, brother. Frankie showed up a little bit late, brother, but we always enjoy to have you. If you'd like to say your goodbyes.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Yeah, I had an anniversary party to go to. I got back a little bit ago. Very great show. Very interesting topic. Secret societies, they're all over, and it's just, God has given us everything we need. Just know that you can create the life you want to live. So just have at it, and know that, God is for you, not against you. And the Bible says, if God is for you, who can stand against you? None of these secret societies, none of these governments, because we live in the government of the kingdom. So bless everyone, dig deep, continue to seek truth, and find happiness, because the truth shall set you free. Shalom, everyone.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it was another fun episode. Please make sure, it really helps us when we get some love, especially when you like, share, and subscribe. So please do so. Comments really help and feed the algorithm. So thank you for those that do. As always, we're going to read the comments from this video on next video. So if you have something to say, and you don't want to come on the panel, it's a great place to do so. To those that are looking for the links, I will be setting that up. I'll figure out a way so that we can send that for each episode. So those interested that want to go check those back out later will have the ability to do so. But until next time, guys, remember that Abba loved you first. I hope y'all all have a great coming of the week. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter. Raise up a standard.